I'm going to talk a little bit about how we can teach our kids about opportunities, how to look for opportunities, right? And you can start this process much younger than teens. I put on the title that teaching our teens to look to find out about opportunity, but really, you can start them, obviously you would want to start them as soon as you can. But I think sometimes the trick is we teach what we know, or we get caught up in life and everything that's happening around us. And we don't necessarily stop and think, okay, teaching opportunity, learning opportunity, how can I embrace this, right? So first thing I wanted to share is before we even start talking about how to teach opportunity to our kids is that unfortunately, in my opinion, the internet and social media has taught them how to behave online. So before we talk about teaching them opportunities, I want to share with you maybe a way that you can start teaching them about how to be on the internet. Like a lot of times it just, they go from like watching TV to having a tablet to interacting online, and we didn't actually have a course. So we had no one to say, hey, let's teach our kids about how to behave on the internet, how to interact. Now, if you have ever done video like on TikTok and I'm pointing to TikToks like a TikTok here, or even on YouTube, or any of the social media sites, if you've ever had someone troll you and you're ready to get back at them and defend your case and kind of shoot them down, and paused and went, maybe I should look up who this person actually is and find out that it's a 9-year-old, a 12-year-old, someone quite young, and you might give them a little bit of grace to be able to say, okay, I've had it happen where it was a very sharp response to something that was fun and light and educational. And then I realized that maybe it was just their etiquette. So before I start helping you talk about opportunities in your family, I thought I would share with you to use this also as an opportunity to help them learn how to interact, how to behave, how to, we used to learn how to write emails. Well, now we're learning how to DM and how to communicate online, right? So use this also as an opportunity to build that relationship with your teens and your kids where you can teach them how to behave online. Because I'm sure we've all heard about bullying and trolling, and if you can help your kid be better at online communication, I think it's a great step in the right direction. So remember, they're learning how to communicate on Snap. They're learning in a way that's very different from a lot of us. So they're learning to communicate via pictures and emojis and text, right? And we learn to communicate writing letters or emails and text and that sort of thing too. So let's start there. Let's start with a teaching opportunity to help them develop their presence online in a good, positive way, right? So in addition to that, I want you to always, when we're talking about kids being online, teens being online, remind them to be safe, remind them that not everybody is good in this world, and there are people who may try and take advantage of them. There are people who may not always have the best intentions. So we want to be mindful about anytime we're teaching them how to communicate online, maybe some red flags that they could look for. So that might be something I talk about in another video, but keeping our kids safe is really important to me. So thank you for everyone who's joining all around. I got multiple screens going, so you'll see me looking back and forth. So let's talk about now how we can teach our kids to look for opportunities. So in my opinion, I work with a lot of teens who are starting an online business. They're looking to make money. They're doing side hustles. They're creating their own products. It's really exciting to see just some of these amazing kids just excel in what they're doing. And one of the things that comes up regularly is, and I think you will find if you talk to the masters around the world who are very successful, they will tell you they became really good at looking for opportunities. Hey, before we get going any further, if you're jumping on, I'd love to hear where you're from. Please leave a comment where you're from in this part of the world, what state, good morning to Sharon, where you are in the world. So I'd love to hear where everybody's coming from. So one of the great things about learning to look for opportunities is once you start this practice, this amazing thing happens where the more you practice it, the more you see it. And then you, at some point you're like, wow, it changes your whole perspective. So what I'm going to talk about a little bit is maybe starting with you, the parent, practicing looking for opportunities. And I know there's a lot going on in the world. We're trying to navigate this new paradigm of life where we're wearing masks and we're home and we're sometimes at school and we're sometimes at work, and our interactions are just completely different. And I'm not immune to that. I too am going through my own changes and how I'm interacting in the world, the new norm, right? So, but one of the first things that you can do to help your kids learn to see opportunities is practice it yourself, right? So it's challenging to get our kids to do something that we're not doing, right? Because they watch us, they learn from us, they emulate what we're doing. And so by looking and speaking out loud, so we're gonna like start practicing when we see opportunities to mention them. And I'm gonna give you a couple examples here in a minute. Mention how we see opportunities. And for those of you that don't want to use the word opportunity, there's other things that you can say. You can say, oh, look, fortune found us today. I love that one. Fortune found us. I personally don't like necessarily using the word lucky. Oh, look how lucky we are that we found this. Because I'm one of the people that believes that luck is something that you create when you take advantage of opportunities or you jump on opportunities, you create your own luck. So I don't like using the word luck. If that's something you're comfortable with, that's okay. Here's another one that I've used. Oh, look at the blessings bestowed upon us today. If you're of faith and that's something that fits for your family, jump on it. You don't have to necessarily use the word opportunity, but find something that's comfortable for you and your family that you can say, and let's use it repetitively. Because once you start using this phrase and you have your teens, your kids start tuning in, you're going to find it that when that buzzword goes off, that opportunity or blessings or fortune, that they're going to perk up and pay attention, right? Now, I'd also like to back up a little bit and say, hello to everyone joining us. Please mention where you're from, where you're coming in from on the live chats. I'm happy that you're here. Today we're talking about how to teach our kids about opportunity. So I would also like to point out that for me, opportunity isn't necessarily a financial based thing. Like when I say, oh, let's jump on this opportunity, it's not always something that is going to be a financial reward for me. For instance, it's a wonderful thing to be able to teach our kids about how to jump on the opportunity to help someone, right? Having the opportunity to help someone means you're in a position to be able to give, right? So I'm not necessarily just talking about opportunities that have a financial reward, though that is something that I embrace and I teach. I'm also talking about creating an environment where we see opportunities in a positive light, such as helping others, giving back, sharing. So these are all different ways that we can start to embrace our kids welcoming opportunities and seeing opportunities. So I wrote down a couple examples because I wanted to give you guys some concrete ways that you can start looking for opportunities. Remember, I want you to first start practicing it for you. So it might be something as simple as the one time you go out in the car this week and you're driving, you're going to the grocery store. Now, I don't know if you're all bringing your kids with you right now or if it's something that happens, but in your world, it could be when you're going to school and you get that front row parking spot. Man, if you know me, you know I love a good front row parking spot. And I can tell you more often than not, I get that front row parking spot. And it's because I'm looking for it, right? We're looking for opportunities. And this is the silliest example, but it's practice for me to look for ways that I can see fortune coming to me, where I can see the blessings that are being given to me in that moment, right? So it's the little moments that you mention out loud that get your kids to start listening and looking for opportunities. Here's another one that is a favorite of mine to teach parents. I am in Florida. Here, our major grocery chain is called Publix. And I'm a fan. I do like Publix shopping. It's an enjoyable experience, I will say. One of the things that they consistently do at checkout is the cashier will look at your receipt and on there will say out loud how much money you've saved that day. Now, there are times when I shop for things that are on sale. I'm more of a go and get what I need right now. But if I see like a 2-for-1 or some kind of discounted one, that might put me over the edge. So I don't necessarily go. I'm not a coupon clipper. But I think everybody can admit they do like a good sale on things. And so I do listen for how much the cashier has mentioned that I've saved that day. Sometimes it's $40, sometimes it's 17 cents. So, it just depends on the kind of shopping experience and what's going on. I encourage you, if you have that kind of situation, or think how this works in your life where you've exchanged money for goods or services, right? You made that decision to exchange money for goods or services. And there's some savings involved, or there's some moment that you can share this opportunity. So for me, what I usually do is I will take that amount and I will make a donation. There are quite a few online sites that I help support young entrepreneurs. And so I will take that money. And so out loud, I say, oh, awesome, I get to help more young entrepreneurs this week. That's a $20 donation. So I say it back, right? So what opportunities do you have that you can share that moment of learning or give back with your kids, right? It's an easy way to do it. So what I'm trying to give you is some practical life uses that you're already doing. So, if you had an extra 4 hours a week where you could sit down and say, hey, this week we're going to teach about opportunity. We're going to go through these different things. We're going to use this methodology. Perfect world situation, right? But we don't always live in the perfect world situation. So I want to create some inspiration. I want to inspire you to think of ways that you can use everyday examples and look for opportunity. Again, the more you practice looking for opportunity and saying it out loud, the more your kids and your spouse are going to think about all the different opportunities that are being bestowed upon you, all the fortune that's coming to you, right? So it's really exciting. Here's another way. So I'm giving you a little quick story this week. One of my neighbors, I don't know well, but I say hello to, actually was moving this week. And so I was kind of watching them pack everything up. And at one point I went out to speak with them, and I noticed that right by the door, they had left a futon sofa and 2 chairs, stools, in excellent condition, with a handwritten note that said, please take free. And so I went up to them and I said, why don't you guys donate this or something? Or, one of the things I do is I teach teens how to take something for free, clean it up and sell it. So maybe I could do this for you. And they're like, no, Brenda, do what you want with it. We just need it out of here fast. And I was like, okay. So I took this as an opportunity to record the whole process and share it with my teens, because I have a group of teens that I work with that either pay for the course themselves, mom and dad pay for the course, or they come to me and they say, I don't have the money for the course. What can I do to make money so I can buy your course? Now, my entry-level course is $37. It's not that pricey. So a lot of teens can afford to get in and see before they spend a lot of money if this is the direction for them to go, right? Thank you for that. So I did this video and I went through the process of how I cleaned down the sofa. And these times I used a sanitizing spray. Within 30 minutes of cleaning it out, the entire process took me 30 minutes. I cleaned up the sofa. And just so you know, I don't need to be flipping furniture. This is not something that I set out to do. But I knew it was an opportunity to create content, to create a video. And guess what? Within 35 minutes, I cleaned it, took pictures, and I had an appointment set 2 hours later for someone to come pick it up and pay $85 for it. So I made $85 in 35 minutes, which for me, that's cool. For you, maybe you're like, that's nothing. Or maybe like, wow, that's really cool. But for teens who were trying to help learn about creating their own income, creating their own path to wealth, about creating something that they can do independently, is a pretty good deal, right? $85 with 30 minutes worth of time. If I was 15 or 16 and I had made that kind of money, I would be over the moon. I would be so excited about it. So I did a video. I took the opportunity to take this quick sale and make some money and do some content in it. And today, later on this afternoon, I'm really excited. I'm going to take that money and go do a video and invest it in some of my young teen entrepreneur sites so I can help them get their start. Whether it's Kickstarter, there's a couple of places on Instagram that I go to help fun teen startups. So I'm going to reinvest that money. So just having that conversation where I say, look, here was an opportunity. I didn't have to invest anything but 30 minutes of my time. I had a really quick, cool experience where I was able to say, hey, I have the power within me, the knowledge, the computer savviness to be able to do this, right? It builds confidence in our teens when they can do this, right? Like, wow, that was easy. What else can I do? It creates this internal drive going for them. It gets them excited about it, right? So this was an opportunity that I could share with you. So maybe you can find these things, because I don't know how it's going to manifest in your world. I don't know. You could be in a country that's on lockdown. You could be in a state that isn't having yard sales right now, like places you could go to capitalize or find opportunities. So I don't know what's going on in your world. So I want to inspire you to think outside the box. And I need you as parents to start looking for opportunities and mentioning them out loud, so that your kids start to hear about the opportunity and the fortune and the blessings that are constantly bestowed upon you, because they're looking for them. Now, conversely, and I know intuitively you will all know that this is true, if you look for the bad things that are happening, you're losing money, your stocks are going down, rent's going up, whatever those things are, you're going to see more of those. And this isn't something that I think is new to you. You probably intuitively know this. I always say I have a 7, almost 8-month-old puppy. And I always say to him, his name is Bodie, and he is adorable, and he's probably going to hear his name and come crashing in here any minute. If you look for opportunity, you will see it everywhere, but you have to be looking. And when Bodie's quiet and he's not napping or in his crate, and I just know something up, like, you know, when your kids were younger and you were like, it's too quiet, something's up. I usually will end up walking through the house saying, Bodie, if you look for trouble, you will find it, right? And it's the same thing with opportunity. If you look for opportunities, you will find them. But you have to psych yourself up and remind yourself to be looking for them and to capitalize on them. Like, action matters. Taking action matters. When my neighbors moved within 24 hours of me having that opportunity to take in this futon sofa and flip it and sell it and reinvest in some teen startups. Like, that opportunity was a 24-hour window. So action favors the bold, right? You have to take steps. So I want you to encourage your teens to look, and your kids, because I think we can start this all young. These conversations can start very, very young. Look for opportunities, and it starts by you looking for the opportunities and saying them out loud, and teaching them in a way that is fun and positive, right? So if you haven't already hit the heart, the like, the thumbs up, the follow button, please go ahead and do so. I would love to have more conversations like this with you and help you find opportunities to help your teens become the best kids they can be. So one more thing I wanted to share with you. We talked about practicing opportunity for yourself, practicing it out loud so those in your family can hear around you and start listening for it. Their ears perk up. Having a saying that fits for your family, whether you say, oh, look at this opportunity, or look at the fortunes that have found us today, or the blessings that were bestowed upon our family, whatever that conversation sequitur is, whatever that piece is that gets you from them to look and listen to understanding if that's the good stuff that's happening around you all the time. I would recommend that you use a phrase consistently so they get used to hearing it. And finally, opportunity is not just something that has a financial reward, right? It can have a soul-filling reward. It can increase our happiness factor, right? Opportunities to help, to give, to share are also ways that we can encourage our kids to look for opportunities, right? Whether it's helping out at church, whether it's helping a neighbor out cooking meals right now, whether it's taking them to a doctor's appointment, whatever that looks like, those are opportunities. So when you say, like, well, how is taking a neighbor to the doctor's appointment an opportunity? It's perspective, because what you need to reframe for them, because sometimes they see the linear path of the actual action and they don't see the 3-dimensional things going around. So the opportunity that we have a car, we have our health, we have gas, and we have the ability to help this person go from their house to their doctor's office. Like, that is a blessing that you have the opportunity to help, because some people aren't in that position, right? So having that conversation where opportunity is more than just it's more than just a financial reward. There's service rewards, there's emotional rewards, and I think that's really what's going to help start them looking at opportunities. Now down the road, having the ability to see opportunities is going to help them both mentally, but it also helped them career-wise, because they're going to see opportunities for growth. They're going to see opportunities for change. Things that are going to help them be better adults down the road are the opportunities that you're teaching them to look for now. So if you have any questions, please leave some messages below. I will be following up and answering those one-on-one. If you haven't already done so, please like, share, and follow. My name is Brenda Mallett. You can find me at the teampreneurs.club, on social media, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Have a great afternoon.